Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. 78th World Health Assembly of WHO formally adopted the world's first pandemic agreement. Supreme Court restores 3-year law practice rule for subordinate judicial services exam. Supreme Court expressed concern over the monopolistic practices of e-commerce major. US President on Tuesday announced a Golden Dome missile defense system. Mizoram becomes the first state in India to attain full functional literacy. Marking a historic milestone, the 78th World Health Assembly or WHO of the World Health Organization formally adopted the world's first pandemic agreement. This development is significant as it is only the second international legal instrument to be negotiated under Article 19 of the WHO Constitution, the first being the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control in 2003. As per Article 19, the WHO is empowered to adopt conventions or agreements on any matter within its competence with a 2/3 majority vote. Let's take a closer look at the key highlights of the agreement. To begin with, the agreement aims to strengthen pandemic prevention and surveillance mechanisms in alignment with the International Health Regulations or IHR 2005, which are designed to prevent, control, and provide a public health response to the international spread of disease. Furthermore, it establishes a global supply chain and logistics network to ensure access to pandemic-related health products during public health emergencies of international concern. In addition, the agreement proposes a coordinating financial mechanism under the IHR framework to support sustainable financing for its effective implementation. Alongside this, it initiates the drafting of a pathogen access and benefit sharing system or PABS through an intergovernmental working group. This process is expected to be finalized and presented at the next WHA. The PABS aims to facilitate the rapid and timely sharing of materials and sequence information on pathogens with pandemic potential. Under this system, pharmaceutical manufacturers participating in PABS would be required to provide WHO with rapid access to 20% of their real-time production of vaccines, therapeutics, and diagnostics. Moreover, once the PABS is adopted, the agreement will be open for signature and ratification by member states, and it will be enforced following the ratification by at least 60 countries. The significance of the agreement lies in its emphasis on global solidarity, as it seeks to bridge the existing gaps and inequities in pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. It also embraces the One Health approach by recognizing the interconnectedness of human, animal, and environmental health. Finally, the agreement underscores the importance of whole-of-government and whole-of-society approaches, including active coordination with indigenous peoples and local communities, thereby ensuring inclusive and participatory global health governance. In a significant development, the Supreme Court has reinstated the requirement of a minimum 3-year legal practice for eligibility in the subordinate judicial services examination, thereby reviving the rule that was previously scrapped based on the recommendations of the Shetty Commission in 2002. Notably, this requirement originally stemmed from a 1993 Supreme Court judgment, which held that a minimum of 3 years of legal practice was essential to qualify for the subordinate judicial services examination. The court emphasized that prior experience as a lawyer is critical, as it equips judges with the practical knowledge necessary to efficiently discharge their judicial duties and functions. Now, let's turn to the other highlights from the judgment. In addition to restoring this eligibility criterion, the judgment introduced other important mandates. For instance, all entry-level judicial candidates must now undergo 1 year of mandatory training before presiding over a court. Furthermore, experience gained as a law clerk will be considered valid toward fulfilling the 3-year practice requirement. It is important to know that ongoing or already notified recruitment processes will not be affected by the revised rule and will continue under the existing regulations. From a constitutional standpoint, Articles 234 and 235 of the Indian Constitution provide the framework for subordinate courts. Article 234 stipulates that appointments of persons other than district judges to the judicial services of a state shall be made by the governor of the state. Rules for appointment are made by the governor after consultation with the State Public Service Commission and with the High Court. Meanwhile, Article 235 vests the control over district and subordinate courts in the High Court of the respective state, thereby ensuring judicial oversight and accountability within the state's legal apparatus. In a significant development, the Supreme Court has expressed concern over the monopolistic practices of a leading e-commerce major. The court has taken cognizance of issues arising from a National Company Law Appellate Tribunal or NCLAT order and has appointed an amicus curiae to assist in the matter. At the same time, it has directed the Competition Commission of India or CCI to initiate a probe against Flipkart. Now, who is an amicus curiae? An amicus curiae or friend of the court refers to individuals or groups who are not directly involved in a legal case, but possess the expertise to help the court arrive at a well-informed decision. So what are the monopolistic practices under scrutiny? Let's start with exclusive agreements, where a product is launched only on a specific platform or the platform agrees to list products of only a particular brand in a category. Then, there are deep discounts. These involve pricing strategies that push product prices below cost, leading to the erosion of profitability for other sellers. Next is the issue of platform neutrality. This refers to platforms using their control to favor their preferred vendors or private label products, ultimately disadvantaging other sellers. Lastly, there is the abuse of dominant position. This includes the imposition of arbitrary contractual terms by major platforms, creating a situation where small retailers are abused and exploited. So what laws are in place to prevent such practices? First, we have the Competition Act 2002, which prohibits anti-competitive agreements and the abuse of dominant position by enterprises. It also regulates combinations, that is, mergers, amalgamations, and acquisitions. Under this Act, the Competition Commission of India has been set up to sustain an enabling competition culture. Complementing this is the Consumer Protection E-Commerce Rules 2020, introduced by the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, to regulate and protect consumers in the e-commerce sector. This case highlights increasing scrutiny over digital marketplaces and the importance of safeguarding fair trade practices in the growing e-commerce ecosystem. In a significant announcement, the US President has unveiled the Golden Dome missile defense system, marking a bold step in the evolution of space-based security technology. This new system draws inspiration from Israel's Iron Dome, but goes far beyond in terms of capability. Unlike the Iron Dome, the Golden Dome will incorporate both surveillance satellites and interceptor satellites to track and neutralize enemy missiles, offering a comprehensive shield from above. Heading this project will be a general from the US Space Force, underscoring the strategic importance and complexity of this space-focused defense initiative. Delving into the purpose of the Golden Dome, the project aims to establish a vast satellite network, potentially numbering in the hundreds, that can detect, track, and intercept incoming missiles. The system is designed to counter a wide range of threats, including cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, and drones, regardless of whether they carry conventional or nuclear payloads. A key feature of the system will be a dedicated fleet of attacking satellites, which will attempt to shoot down offensive missiles soon after liftoff. As we look closer at the technological backbone of this initiative, the Golden Dome will include high-tech detection sensors, tracking tools, interceptor missiles, and command and control networks. While each of these components will function independently, they will operate in real time by exchanging information with one another, enabling rapid and coordinated responses to threats. However, this bold initiative has not come without criticism. Russia and China have voiced strong objections to the Golden Dome, claiming it risks turning outer space into a battlefield. They argue that this concept violates the spirit of the Outer Space Treaty of 1966, which prohibits placing nuclear weapons or other weapons of mass destruction in orbit on celestial bodies or station them in outer space. To understand how the Golden Dome fits into the global defense landscape, let's compare it with existing systems. Israel operates the Iron Dome for short range defense, David Sling for short to medium and medium to long range threats, and Arrow 2 and Arrow 3 for long range threats. Meanwhile, Russia's S-400 Triumph serves as a long range air defense system known for its wide operational scope. In the US itself, THAAD or Terminal High Altitude Area Defense is used to intercept ballistic missiles at high altitudes. On the other hand, China's HQ-9 system, which draws inspiration from Russia's S-300, offers a missile interception range of up to 125 kilometers. With these developments, the Golden Dome stands out as a transformative shift in defense strategy, one that pushes the boundaries of conventional missile defense into the realm of space, while raising complex geopolitical and legal questions for the future. In a proud moment for the country, Mizoram has become the first state in India to attain full functional literacy. That's right, with the literacy rate crossing above 95%, recorded at 98.20% as per the PLFS survey 2023-24. Mizoram now meets the criteria for full literacy as defined by the Ministry of Education. Before Mizoram, it was Ladakh that became the first administrative unit to declare full functional literacy under the Ullas program. Now, what exactly does functional literacy mean? It refers to the achievement of reading, writing, and numeracy skills at a predetermined level, skills necessary for daily functioning and lifelong learning. Let's talk about the program behind this success. Ullas, which stands for Nav Bharat Saksharta Karyakram, or the New India Literacy Program, or NILP. Under the scheme, individuals are considered defined literates only if they can read, write, do basic math, and possess digital and financial literacy, not just the ability to sign or write their names. The scheme is a centrally sponsored scheme and aligns with the goals of the National Education Policy 2020. It runs from FY 2022-23 to 2026-27 and is being implemented by the Ministry of Education. The target group: adults aged 15 and above from all backgrounds who missed formal schooling. The scheme has 5 core components: foundational literacy and numeracy, critical life skills, basic education, vocational skills, and continuing education. So how is this being implemented? It's being carried out through volunteerism, promoting a sense of social responsibility and duty, or kartavya bodh. Samajik Chetna Kendras are being set up using available spaces such as schools, local cultural centers, and community halls, with schools acting as the key unit of implementation. In addition, there's a strong focus on use of regional languages to make educational content more accessible via the Diksha portal and the Ullas mobile app or portal. And finally, let's not forget assessment. The Foundational Literacy and Numeracy Assessment Test is conducted twice a year or on demand at local schools to certify learners. With this achievement, Mizoram sets an inspiring example for the rest of the nation, proving that with inclusive planning and dedicated execution, universal literacy is within reach. In today's Tracy News, we turn our focus to Professor Jayant Narlikar, a renowned astrophysicist known for proposing an alternative to the Big Bang theory. He has passed away at the age of 86. Born in 1938 in Kolhapur, Maharashtra, Professor Narlikar completed his BSc at Banaras Hindu University in 1957. Now, let's turn to his contributions. He went on to make pioneering contributions to cosmology. His most notable work includes the Hall-Narlikar theory, which presented an alternative model to the Big Bang. Beyond his theoretical work, He was instrumental in expanding the theoretical astrophysics group at Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, or TIFR. And he also served as the founder director of the Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics, or IUCAA. In recognition of his immense contributions, he was honored with several prestigious awards, including the Kalinga Award by UNESCO, the Padma Bhushan, and the Padma Vibhushan. As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The Department of Consumer Affairs commemorated World Metrology Day 2025, marking the 150th anniversary of the Meter Convention, which was signed on 20th May 1875 and amended in 1921. The purpose of the convention includes convention and its annexed regulation to assure the international unification and improvement of the metric system. Recently, Indonesia, Egypt, and Bahrain stalled Pakistan's strong reference against India on the Kashmir issue at the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, Parliamentary Union meeting in Jakarta. Organization of Islamic Cooperation was established in 1969 after the summit in Rabat, Morocco. At the recent BRICS Energy Ministers meeting held in Brazil, India played a leading role in advocating for inclusive, balanced, and sustainable energy governance. Key outcomes of meeting include reaffirmed support for SDG 7, focusing on universal energy access, clean cooking, and ending energy poverty. The World Health Organization officially recognized 4 countries, Austria, Norway, Oman, and Singapore, for their outstanding leadership in eliminating industrially produced trans fats. Trans fats, also known as trans fatty acids, are unsaturated fats present in both industrial and natural sources. India awarded the Certificate of Elimination of Trachoma as a public health problem by the World Health Organization. India was declared the third, after Nepal and Myanmar, Southeast Asian region country to have eliminated trachoma in 2024. Trachoma is termed as neglected tropical disease by the WHO. Researchers from the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science under the Department of Science and Technology have discovered the potential of peptidomimetic drugs in treating neurodegenerative diseases. NDs are complex diseases characterized by neuronal loss and progressive degeneration of different areas of the nervous system. Banu Mushtaq wins International Booker Prize for Kannada short story collection Heart Lamp. International Booker Prize was launched as Man Booker International Prize in 2005. It is an annual literary prize awarded for a single book that is translated into English and published in the UK or Ireland. The Shirui Lily Festival returns to Manipur after a 2-year pause because of the long-drawn conflict in the state. Shirui Lily Festival was organized by Manipur's Department of Tourism, and it honors a delicate and endangered Shirui lily, which blooms only in the Shirui Hills. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.